There we go. We're going live now, man. After last week, whew. All right. I think we're live.
Okay, folks, here's the deal.
I'm at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
This is gonna be a special
One of the most intense trails.
This is the operating station.
That's a bear.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The traveler has
I just do things.
This is a huge, beastly, bulging man. Plates were from Kansas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. You know, I just showed the movie The Dark Knight to my kids for the first time, and they chuckled when they heard the Joker say, "Do I look like a guy with a plan?" They thought that was pretty funny because they thought of me. Isn't that great? Welcome everybody to now episode 10 of the, what do I call it now? The Ham Radio Elmer Hour. Got a few guys in chat already. There's Keith. Keith with the membership green. That's new. All right. And Roger McKeon. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome both here to the to the live stream. Yeah, they thought that was pretty funny. I just do things. Oh, you know, I can't project myself as this genius, you know, so that's because that would be, that would be dishonest. So, you know, I go with personality quirks like that, and that's a much more honest portrayal. I just do things. Welcome everyone. How's it going? How's everybody doing? It is Field Day week. Man, I'm pumped. We've got plans here with the. I have plans with the local club here. I'll show you where we're going to be at. We are. It's not a coordinated event in an emergency facility, though we are in a training, a fire station training facility. Let's see. I think it's right here. Oliver. No, not Pawnee. It's right here on this road that curves around McConnell Air Force Base here. Here we go, Wichita Fire Department RTC. So we're going to be operating Field Day right here at this building, right there by McConnell Air Force Base. Right here in this building. And we've actually got a little antenna map for where we're going to lay everything out. My CW antennas are going to get to be out here. And the digital guys are going to run their antennas out the opposite side of the building, and then we'll have the voice stuff in between. So we'll see how all that stuff interacts. They'll have bandpass filters and all that, but I'm a little nervous about how many bands will actually be usable from our location here in Wichita. That's my main concern, which there's nothing we can do about it with the setup. But man, from what I've experienced here, being, you know, operating in the area, and 20 and 40 is about all there is. But and you know, we got at least 3 stations. We might add a 4th. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. We'll see. That's while we'll be out there. Who knows? On Field Day, it may be totally different. I never hold out much hope for like 10 and 15 meters this time of year, and in this part of the country, we're just going to skip. We're just going to skip over the whole country. There might be some DX opportunities, but that's it. Who else we have come in? Chris, KD9YSW. Hello, and welcome. Appreciate you guys taking some time to hang out here and spend some time together. So that's my Field Day plans. If you guys got any Field Day plans you want to share, just stick it in the chat there. But not only are we going to be operating here, we're going to be setting up on Friday afternoon, and I get to be the overnight watchman. I volunteered to be, there's the facility there. I volunteered to be the overnight watchman to watch all the equipment, obviously overnight. So I will be there Friday night. I will be there Saturday night with some time to kill. Obviously, I'll have stuff to do Saturday night as field day is going on. I might try to make some evening contacts, but oh man, I just realized my air conditioner's on. I bet you guys can hear that. I'll have to go turn that off. So I will be there doing that, and I don't know. I might. I don't think I'm going to take anything to record or stream from there. I don't know. I'll have my phone on me. Maybe I could do something like that, but we'll see. Hang on a sec. I'm going to turn this AC off. You know, the weather's been nice enough today that thing hasn't turned on once. Hasn't turned on once until I go live. then it decides it needs to turn on, but it's not. What is the temperature out here today? I'm gonna go over this window. It says it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I believe that, and it's cloudy on top of that. So been a nice day. Actually, a couple nice days. I actually got out and played golf yesterday, which was, man, that was the first time. That was the first time I've gotten out in quite a while and we walked 18 holes because the rain we've been getting. It was carts on paths only was the rule, so you could not leave the paved paths with your cart, which meant you were going to have to do a lot of walking, even riding a cart. So we just decided to not have a cart and walk. Father-in-law and I, and pretty sore, but it was fun to get out and hit the ball around. I didn't do too bad. I did as good as I thought it would be. You don't like me now. 75 degrees. It's 100. You got 174 degrees and 5,000% humidity. Wow, that's really bad. I hope you're exaggerating. I'm guessing you're in Florida. We've got heat coming for field day. It's going to be. We got a lot of rain between now and then. And then, before we get here and set up, it's going to be really, really wet. And then Saturday, it's going to be 95 degrees, I think. And I think it'll be 99 on Sunday. It'll be toasty, and all that moisture in the ground is just going to be evaporating up. So it's we got it coming. Hopefully, if the wind is up, that'll keep the humidity down, and it won't seem so bad. Unless it's like one of those days you get that nasty warm wind. But I got more of that when we lived out in the desert. Not so much here in Kansas, but. Man, last year I was in Central California and it was like 70 degrees every day. That was nice. That was nice. Or actually, it was a little warm we were at for field day because we were inland a ways. So I think it got up in the 90s where I was at last year. And then right after field day, we went up to redwood forests right on the northern California coast, and we went up Oregon coast, and man, it was nice up there. July, and it wouldn't even get up to 70 degrees. Very, very nice. Anywho, with all that big long intro, this is the POTA Elmer Hour. I am trying to get this, the idea of this live stream out there so that it's a place for POTA operators to come in and ask the sorts of questions that aren't always appreciated on the social sites. So we welcome silly questions. I love silly questions, actually, because they make me feel really smart. We will never say that this question has already been asked. You're asking it, which makes it a new question. That's what makes it different. And we'll never tell you to go read the freaking manual, though we may open it up and read the manual together. But we just want to be we want this live stream to be a place that anyone can come in and ask some good beginner POTA questions, and even some of us that have been at it for a while try something new in POTA, and guess what? We become beginners at that point. Yeah, 95 in Florida today. That makes sense. That makes sense. And Keith, I think you're in the Tampa area. Is that right? I think that's right. So that sounds like that's right where it should be for this time of year. We might be down there next winter. That's the plan. We'll see how that plays out. 85 in Spokane. Now I didn't make it, Roger, as far east as Spokane. We stayed west of the Cascades, so we never got to where it was too dry out there in the eastern part of the state. Although I do want to see it at some point here in the future. Does the POTA Performer antenna work well? Chris asks. Well, according to what everybody else says, it sure seems to. And I've activated with its designer, Greg, KJ6ER, and he sure seems to think so, and uses it quite a bit, obviously. So it seems to. I've not used it myself, so I can't give you that good firsthand knowledge. There's a reason why I haven't used it myself, and that's because elevated radials freak me out. The places that I go activate, I do not want to be setting up elevated radials. I have enough problems with people walking around in some places that I activate, and I mean you can get way out there in the boonies and set up the rule. You set up an antenna somewhere and someone's gonna walk through it. So you can go out as far as you want out in the boonies. Someone's gonna come out of the bushes and walk straight into your antenna. And the idea of having elevated radials has just always freaked me out. So I've not tried it. Now, the day that I activated with Greg out in California, KJ6ER, and Jim, he's KG6UO, Uncle Oscar, we use the Challenger Plus. And if I'm going to build and use any of Greg's antennas, that's the one I'm going to use. I'm a vertical guy, which obviously the POTA Performer is a vertical also. But the cool thing about the Challenger is it is an off-center fed vertical dipole. It's a vertical off-center fed dipole. So he uses a 25-foot whip and then just has a little counterpoise on the ground. So there's a one wire and it's on the ground and it's tuned. It's tuned for each band. And that worked really well. And it's so easy to set up. It's a little bit more to build, but the setup is just fantastic. And only having one, I guess you would call that a counterpoise. One counterpoise on the ground was really awesome. So if I'm going to build one, that's the one I'm going to do. Look that one up if you don't know it. It's the Challenger and the Challenger Plus. The Challenger's with the 17-foot whip, and the Challenger Plus is with the 25-foot whip, which is the one that I would build. You could also use Alpha Antennas, I know, has come out with a 34-foot whip, so you could do that as well and do the plus setup. It's probably going to change the tuning of your wires a little bit, but we're hams. We're smart enough. We can figure that out. Keith is going to try out the Challenger. Yeah, let us know how that goes. I will be interested to see. And there's Andy Callie. Welcome, Andy. Nice to see you in there, brother. Welcome to another live stream. Thanks for choosing to hang out with us. So the topic that I wanted to, I guess I should also say before I get on to that, we've got a bunch of videos that we're going to be leading up to today. I'm a little bit short on time. I've only got to 5:50 local time here, 22:50 UTC, 5:50 Central. because we got a bunch of videos lined up today. What do we got? I've got let's see. Jeff's actually first this week. Looks like he got a famous Alpha Hotel calling in and didn't make his log. So I'll be interested to see what happened there. Someone made Jeff upset and didn't get into his log. That should be entertaining. And speaking of entertaining, after that, my video that's dropping right after Jeff's is my POTA activation in Uranus. You should be excited to see that. That's gonna be very interesting. How do you activate in Uranus? Then we got Mike into MAK is joining the crowd. Something about 6 meters. 6 meters to 23 centimeters, got attenuation. So you know him, Mr. Leave No Band Behind. He's trying all kinds of different stuff there. Should be interesting. And then Carlos Life at Terminal Velocity has something about something called the whale. Jimmy Buffett's, what is that? I may have to click on that just to see. Oh boy, I got the wrong window. Stand by. Jimmy Buffett's former plane turned jump ship. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a jump video or not, but there you go. And that's, of course, all going to lead into Ham Radio Clubhouse. And who knows what those guys are going to talk about. That's what is, that's what makes theirs so interesting. What do we got here? Frank is flooding my chat. Hey, Frank, thanks for... looks like you sent a bunch of people over to the live stream. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining. Welcome. The thing I wanted to talk a little bit about today was this question that's frequently asked. This is definitely a beginner question. We see it a lot on the POTA site, and I even got it asked as part of a presentation group in what's the Ham Fest out in Arizona? Quartz Fest. We got asked it at Quartz Fest. And I don't think we do as good a job answering it as we should. I'm going to try to do a little better today. And that's the question of, do we need to ask for permission to do a POTA activation in a park? All right. Now, there's a lot of opinions on this, and here's mine. No. My default position is no. I do not ask for permission. Okay? Not even when I activate in Uranus. I do not ask for permission. I did one time. Here's my story. One of my very early activations was at Carlsbad Caverns National Park. We had just toured the caves. My kids came up. They had done all their stuff, all their worksheets and things for their junior merit badges, not merit badges, the junior ranger badges that the National Park Service does. And Roger joined as a state traveler. Appreciate you, Roger. Thanks for joining. Welcome. But they went through and they did all their pledges and, got their badges, and the ranger was super nice and friendly and helpful and got them all set up. And I decided that might be a good moment to go up and ask about ham radio. This is probably my 6th, 7th activation. It might be, I think it was my first attempt at a national park. And I asked this woman about just setting up somewhere in the parking lot and running ham radio for Parks on the Air. And she looked at me like I had lobsters crawling out of my ears. Her demeanor just completely changed. And it was just a flat no, we can't allow that here. No. I said, well, I mean, do you have like a supervisor or someone I could talk to? No, he's not here. Does he have an email address or, a phone number that I could contact him with? Nope. It was just all no, dead end. And that was the last time I ever asked for permission. Now, thankfully, this is a fun. This will be a fun little research here. Thankfully, I was asking for permission and told no. All right, how quick can I find Carlsbad Caverns? There's Carlsbad itself. I think we are right in here. There we go. So a lot of Carlsbad Caverns National Park, the facilities and everything is up on this ridge. I'm not finding it. There's the Batflight Amphitheater. Okay, that's the spot I'm looking for right there. So we're up on top of this ridge. Let's see if we can get a street view here from the highway. Yeah, this is direction here. So you got this whole ridge line off in the distance there. The picture makes it look a long ways off, but that whole formation there just lifted up out of the ground, and underneath that is where the caves formed. And so I asked permission to run, out here in the parking lots or what have you. And like I said, just got flat told no. Well, I found out there's actually down here in the low area, there's it's right here. Was it Rattlesnake Springs picnic area? I think that was it. Right here. Where I came down and activated right here in this area. It might be right here at this part of the road. No street view there. Yeah, right along the road in here is where I activated. So, I'm still in the park, but nowhere near the person way up here that told me no. But it was still part of Carlsbad Caverns National Park. So I still got the activation done. We just pulled the rig on the road right there, and I activated that in Guadalupe in the same day. But I never again ask for permission, because when we do that, the images that get in these rangers' minds that don't know about ham radio and parks on the air, I think what they picture in their minds is far more big and complex than what it actually is. And I think the interaction will almost always go better if it's a ranger that comes up to you, you're at a picnic table, you're already operating, they see what you've got set up there, and they just ask, hey, what are you doing? And you tell them. I think that's always going to go better. I don't know what they picture. I don't know if they picture like one of those news vans with a huge tower that goes up, that beams a powerful VHF signal back to the station. I don't know what kind of operation they're picturing, or if it's like an FM radio station out there blaring music. I don't know what gets in their minds, but it just brings up a no too often. Okay, that's the easy part of the question. It's easy to say that, but there really will be certain situations that we do need to ask for permission. There's some sites that are incredibly small. There are some sites that are sensitive, and I think if we really keep our brains engaged, we'll pick up on those situations where we do need to. There will be situations where we might need to ask for permission before we get started. I just think the default is going to be no. If there's plenty of space, you're going to be out there, not impacting anybody else, or I've got a nice stealthy setup in my vehicle. I can just pull up in a parking lot and turn my radio on and go. I think it's always best to have that default as no. But there's some spots, let's see. I had a buddy, Jesse, up in Washington. He was taking a trip down here to Tombstone, Arizona, and asked me about, it was a courthouse. Am I going to be able to find that? Let's pull up POTA here. Hey, Hillbilly Dave. How you doing today, buddy? You agree for the most part. Don't ask. Yep, I think that's the right place to be. I think that should be the default position. Let's see if I can figure this out here. Tombstone. Boy, I'm just getting kind of lost in these maps today. Bisbee. Okay, there we go. Tombstone's going to be right here. Tombstone Courthouse about right there in that part of town. I was close. There we go. So here's the building right here. Okay. So check out this property. This is US 10518. Okay, so a fairly new park. It's been activated 44 times successfully in 46 attempts. So, that this little site has seen quite a bit of activity, and you can tell it's not much. Now, I would have to really see where the actual boundaries are here, and I wonder if people are just pulling up here in their vehicle and activating in the vehicle if there's that many. Because I think Jesse even looked into this, and this wasn't on the property. You're on the street. You're on public space, but you're on the street. You're not in the park. This is new. I don't know if it'll show on POTA map or not. Let's see. Got to load Arizona. Yeah, it's not going to show. Didn't show the boundaries in there. But gosh, where are these? I have a hard time believing that 46 people are coming on these grounds over here and activating, but I think that's what Jesse thought of doing, but it was just blocked off for some kind of renovation. But that looks like over here the extent of the public space. I guess you could sit on this wall and have an antenna set up back there, but this is one of those situations where it's going to be difficult to go in here easily and set up an antenna. And this might be a situation where I would at the very least consider, should I ask for permission before I set this up? This is one, if I'm approaching it, I'm still going to try and be as small and stealthy as I can. If I could just sit on this wall here maybe and, build my just okay mini that I bought at the show from Ham Radio Duo and set it up right here and maybe keep my radio in a pack and just activate sitting there on a wall. I might be able to pull that off and do that okay. All right, let's check this out here. Let me go through the chat here and scan, see if I've missed anything. All right, Keith is saying there's one outside of downtown Tampa that he'd like to activate, but the park is so small and the parking lot shows outside the boundary. Keith, give us, you got a park number? Can you give us a park number there? And maybe we can look that up and see what it is. I see someone ask, Dave's asking, is it a trailer or a park? I don't know if he's asking me or if he's asking Keith. The one in Arizona is a park. Ybor, is that, you see that Ybor City Museum State Park? Is that it? That's the only one I see in the Tampa area. He says, give me a sec. All right, we'll get that information there. Let's see, got a few more people in there. Cyber Radio, how's it going, Rory? Good to have you on the stream and in the chat. And let's see, there was another one. N9 SAB. Is that Tim? Do I have that right? N9 SAB? Gonna have to look you up. Yeah, Tim Ortiz. Good to see you, buddy. That reminds me, we got digital mode next week, don't we? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. That's it. Okay, that's the one. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's see if I can get on that. It's in that little loop there. See if we can find it here on Google Maps. Ebor, is that how you say it? Ebor? Is it Ibor? 3668, is that the right one? Yeah. Okay, and it's... Here we go, Museum State Park. Hey, Jurgen. Man, glad you could join. We got a lot of people hanging out here. It's awesome. Frank brought a lot of friends. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jurgen. Okay, so I'm guessing that says Tribute to Immigrants Memorial Statue. I don't know if that's part of the State Museum or not, but boy, that does look like a tight little site. It's been activated 74 times. You know, one way to approach this, here's Bill Brown. So here's your guy, Keith. You look up Bill Brown, K4NYM, and send him an email and see how he does it. He's gotten 312 contacts there on 8 different activations. How does he do it? That's I mean, there's some parking inside the site here, it looks like. So, would that be State Museum Centennial Park? Are these on the park here in the park since they're off the street? Or is the park that whole block? Let's see if POTA map shows us anything there. Okay, it excludes that building on the corner there, it looks like. All right, this is not... Yeah, I can't take too much detail off this map here, can I? Because this just the polygons that are in there look so generic. But it does seem to exclude this building right here on the corner. I think we can at least glean that from it. So that is this building there. So that parking might be out. Boy, and it's hard to tell what's going underneath here. Let's get street view here from the south and see what that looks like. That's looking to the south because I think that's the immigrant statue there. Yeah, Tribute to Immigrants Memorial Statue. So we need to be looking. I never know when it does this, which way I'm looking. But we're looking inside this wall here. Yeah, that's tricky, and to get the boundaries of this site, I wonder if we can go to Florida State. I don't know. Something like that. I bet I'm not gonna find a map with really great boundaries on it. Let's see. Something in an urban area like that. An American immigrant city. So is that? No, that's still just on the north side of the street. Okay. It's not the immigrant statue on the other side. And you know, it's so hard to tell what's included on the street, you know. It does look like it comes up past the walls to include a sidewalk. Oh, there is a compass right there. Thanks, Frank. I'll keep an eye on that. It looks like it at least includes the sidewalk. Does it include parking? I mean, I would think you would have to be inside this wall in order to really be on the park. But I wonder if people have activated it by pulling up and parking here. You know, I don't know. But, you know, I think, I don't know if you know Bill or not. He's K4NYM. He's a CW activator almost entirely. So he might have a little system that he carries in there and activates. And I would contact him and see. I see James has been in there too. They might have gone in there together. James might have a video on it. They do it here recently. February of last year. That would be interesting to know. Yeah, I think he'd have some good information there for you, Keith. What is that? Ham Radio Adventure guy. 2,890 subscribers. I think you've passed him, Frank. I'm on his heels. I think you've passed him. Videos. Ah, boy, I'm going to have to go way back to get something that's a year old, though. How about he would put the park number in there, I think, if I search for US 3668. I'm reaching here. Yeah. Yeah, that'd take some digging to see. There's 3646. 3668. Yeah, maybe not. That'd be cool though. You get a look at it. Oh, here's one. Huh. Well, here's POTA Power. How about that? That looks like they're sitting in there. They're sitting in it right there. So they're just going to sit there and live stream. So where are they at? Looks like they're inside that little courtyard, sitting at a table. So there you go. They were sitting there and live streaming it. So I guess that's the way to do it right there. How about that? We just searched the park number on YouTube, and we found a video of somebody activating that park. Dave's asking, what does POTA say on how to activate? I know in Missouri, a lot of our parks are drive up. I don't think it has any notes on this park at all. I was looking at that. All it says is closed Mondays and Tuesdays. That's good information. God knows that'd be the day I'd try to go out there and do it. It does say activation methods, automobile and pedestrian. So they do have automobile in there. Now, that's a clue. That's a clue. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that where I'm highlighting right there. It does say automobiles are there. Or that is an effective way of activating, and I don't see any internal parking. So, man, that makes it seem to me like POTA thinks it's legit just to park around the edge, because I don't know where else you would be able to get a vehicle in there in order to activate. And with there being 74, I can't imagine all of those are done inside this courtyard. So, I mean, all this street side parking has to be off of the property. Why does that look different? There's a streetcar there. Oh, I got a block too far south. Where did this streetcar come from? I don't even think there is any. Yeah, no parking along there. This house on the corner, is that part of the park? It looks like it probably is. Like it goes all the way over to Angel Olivia Senior Street. That's probably Angel Olivia Senior Street. But yeah, hey, I think we've got a couple answers there for you, Keith. You can always talk to Bill, but it seems like you can just park around the site too. I mean, we haven't. Let's see if there's any other. Let's just cover all four sides here with the street view. Is there any way to drive onto this block? I don't see anything there. And I'm looking west. So is that right? Am I on the right block? No, I ended up down there by the immigrant place again. Nothing there. Go around the north side. Past this building. Okay, so here's a little parking here. This might be... Okay, so POTA map shows here. See this? Okay. We're getting some indications of a different property here. But POTA map is showing that there's some park property in this corner here. I'm guessing it just doesn't quite line up right with the background. But I think this is indicating the parking that's right here. And I did not notice that. But there they are. There we see them right there. So, you know, our automobile parking might be referring to this right here. It doesn't seem to be these parking stalls along the south of this building, because that seems to be indicated as part of the property of whatever this building is and not part of the park. There's some supposition there, but I think that's, you know, to be safe, I would nix these spots. But these spots seem like they're part of the park. So maybe that's what POTA is indicating as automobile parking. So there's a possibility there. Let's see if we can get a little different view of it. If we can learn anything else. Come on, drop that dude. All parking spaces reserved 24/7. Well, there goes that idea. Permit required. Okay. Well, those aren't your parking spaces either. So now I'm back to this notion that you can just park around the border and that's part of the park. And I think that seems to be legit because of this activation method here says automobile and pedestrian. And I don't see any other place to park a car other than around the edges of the park. So, whether or not you want to operate that way, I guess that's up to you. That courtyard looks awfully nice in POTA Power's video. But there you go. There you go. And now I think to the point that was some good work, Keith. You kept us busy for the whole live stream there. That was fun to look up and see, and help you out in that way. But I think we better start wrapping it up here for the Tuesday night premieres. And again, we got Jeff with an activation video where someone made him mad and didn't get into his log. I am activating Uranus. Trust me, you're going to be very interested as to how that occurred. Mike's doing some, N2MAK is doing some work on some extra bands. Mr. Leave No Band Behind looks like he's talking about 6 meters and 23 centimeters. And then apparently Carlos has some information about a plane called the Whale that was supposed to be one of Jimmy Buffett's old planes. I don't know if he's jumping out of it or if he's just showing it. But apparently it's used as a skydiving plane now. So that's the lineup for tonight, all leading up to Ham Radio Clubhouse. That was fun. We got to help somebody out. Man, I'd like it to be like that every week. If you guys have anything like that you've been wondering about, we can all look it up, put all our brains together, and see what we can come up with. And that was a lot of fun. So I want to know where that park is in Uranus. Well, I'm about to show you, my friend. We're going to get right up in there, Dave, and we'll show you. I'll see you in about 20 minutes, and we'll get that video started. Thanks for coming and hanging out here for a bit today, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for bringing the question, Keith, and we'll see you again next week. Yeah, I think I'll be doing this again next week after field day. And maybe we'll talk about some of the stuff that went on then. But appreciate it, folks. Thanks, Frank, for bringing some folks over. That was a well-attended live stream. And we will catch you next week. Don't forget to check out the premieres coming up. Have a good one, folks. See you next time.
He was running his rig 20 words per minute with Morse code. I strode up to his station and said, "Hey man, I got that mode. If you're going to activate Mike, with me you can ride." So I sat at the picnic table and I settled down by his side. He asked if I'd been in a better park to scan across the bands, and I said, "Listen, I pulled everywhere in this here land.